Welcome back for yet another exciting C# web tutorial. We are running down the number of left to C. This one shows you exception handling. We did that about a week or two ago, but I wanted to show you a trick in this particular form. What we have is two numbers you can enter, and what we have here is a try-catch, and we call a method that takes a string and it returns a short. So if you hover here, it should come up the declaration. You can see it says short, validate convert to short, and takes a string value in, and we call it twice. Let's go see what's going on in that code. What we do is if it's empty, we throw a new exception. I'm going to take the breakpoint off so you can see what it does. Throw new, these are reserved words, this is an object, and you can tell because these are in lowercase and this is in what we call proper case. You can also see this is a darker blue and this is aqua blue. We create our own exception. Remember in the exception hierarchy, the highest level exception was something called an exception. So right here, you must supply a value to convert. We throw it, which means code stops here and goes back up here to the try-catch. So this is kind of like passing the buck. I don't want to deal with it, so whoever called this method will have to deal with it. Then we try converting, and if something goes wrong, we take this exception and we throw it back to the code that called this one. If it's not empty and I'm able to convert it, I return the converted number out. Okay? This is an extension to a previous example I showed you, that is, where I returned a Boolean and I had what we call a ref on a variable coming in. So in comes a string, out goes the short, and if anything goes wrong, this code throws it and sends it back. But because I'm throwing, I have to have this try-catch. Look what happens if I take the try-catch away. I get errors because the code throws it and is expecting it. So I need to make sure that's there. Alright, I have to have the try-catch here. Let's run this. I'll put a breakpoint right there so we can see what's going on. I'm going to leave this one blank and this one blank and click validate. We come in here, I'm hitting F11, we're going to pass in a blank and we hope to get a short back. We come into the code. Now watch, I'm in this method, in comes a string, out goes a short, and only this code can use it. Notice as a blank, I throw the new exceptions. That means I'm going to leave this method and go back up to the try-catch. And here I am, see the catch? And here comes the exception. You must supply a value. This is the code that I put right here. Whatever I put in here shows up in that message box. I click OK, and I return. Okay, let's put in a valid number, and let's put in an invalid number here. Okay, we come into the try-catch on the button validate click. We pass in a string. It's not blank, so we come down to try to convert. We know 125 can be converted to a short, and I return the 125. The 125 came out of this method and is now in this variable. 125. Now I'm clicking on text number 2. I'm passing in a blank. No, correction, I am passing in 34x, which is not blank, but I cannot convert it. Instead of dealing with the message box here, I throw it, which causes the code that called this method to receive execution, and notice this exception happens. So what this allows me to do, basically, is have one method to convert all my data, and I just throw the exception and let whoever's using the method deal with it. It's quite a powerful feature. So let's put in two variables that are valid. Click validate. Comes in here. It's not blank. So we come down here. We return the converted number. Notice the text 125 is converted to a numerical 125. We call the code. It's not there. We come here. we're able to convert it, we return back the 340. So now I showed you how you can have one piece of code that does the conversion, which is the method right here, validate convert. Out comes a short, in comes a string, out goes a short. If anything goes wrong, this code just catches it and says, hey, you handle it, I don't want to deal with it, or we throw the exception here. It's quite a powerful feature. And I just want to reiterate, because this code, this method, throws an exception, if I take this try away, and I take all this away, notice I get an error. And it says, because it throws back an error, so I got to be able to handle the exception. So C# is smart enough to know that you need to put the try catch back in here. There you go.